I'm going to start by dissolving my yeast here. I have one package of active dry yeast. I know you probably couldn't see that because it was blurry. I'm just going to empty this into my mixing bowl. I'm going to use the KitchenAid for this entire process. If you don't have a KitchenAid, you can most certainly do this by hand. That's not a problem. Just takes a little bit longer. I've got 1 cup of milk that I've heated in the microwave till it's about 110 degrees. And I'm just going to mix this. And I'm going to shut that off. And I'm going to let that sit for just a few minutes. Now to this I'm going to add a half a cup of sugar, a third of a cup of softened margarine. You can also use butter for this. Either one is fine. I don't really notice a difference in one or the other. I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt, and 2 eggs. 1 and 2. And I'm just going to turn this on low just until this is well mixed. Now I'm going to leave my paddle blade in there, and I'm going to add in 1 cup of flour and mix this. I'm going to slowly add in a 2nd cup of flour. And then at this point I'm going to switch out the paddle blade for a dough hook. And turn that back on low speed. And I'm going to slowly add in a third of a cup of flour. And at this point I'm just going to go ahead and scrape down the sides of the bowl. Make sure you get all that flour incorporated. And I'm going to slowly add in another cup of flour. And you can see it started to turn into a ball, so I'm going to turn the speed up a little bit. And I've had to work in about another quarter to a third of a cup of flour. And I'm just going to let the machine knead this. Alright, so this has been going for a few minutes and my machine is not sounding real well. So, I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way and do it by hand. So I've floured my countertop and put the dough out on there. I'm just going to put some more flour on top and knead it the old-fashioned way. You want to knead this for a total of 8 to 10 minutes, either by hand or the machine. And you just want to keep going until your dough is nice and smooth and elastic. Now what I'm going to do is take a large bowl. I'm going to spray that with some non-stick spray. And I'm just going to put the dough in this and make sure the top is sprayed as well. And I'm going to cover this and put this into a warm spot to let it rise until it is doubled in size. My dough is almost fully risen, so I'm going to go ahead and make up my filling. I have 1 cup of brown sugar in this bowl, and I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. Like so, maybe a little extra. And I'm just going to mix this together. And I also have a third of a cup of margarine that I've set out and let come to room temperature so we can go ahead and spread that on the dough when it's all rolled out. My dough is finished risen, and as you can see it is doubled in size, and this is my favorite part of making bread. Punching it down. You just kind of want to deflate it, pull it away from the sides. I'm going to spread some flour out on my counter so we can roll this out. And you need kind of a big work area to work with this, but it'll be worth it. I'm just going to put that down. Get the dough off my hands there. Put that there, and we're going to roll this to 16 inches by 21 inches is what the recipe says. I don't know how exact you really need to be, but I'm going to try and get as close to that size as possible. So that's close enough, I think. I'm going to take my margarine and dump this out onto the dough. And I'm going to smooth this across the dough, and I'm going to leave part of about an inch up here along the top edge so we can seal it. It won't seal very well when you have margarine there. I found the best way for this is just to use my fingers to spread this around. Now that I got that done, I'm going to take my cinnamon and brown sugar mixture, and I'm going to sprinkle this right over the top of the margarine. And then once I get it all spread out like that, I'm going to press it into that margarine and into the dough. And now comes the fun part, trying to roll this sucker up. I'm going to start at this edge down here, and I'm just going to fold over maybe a half inch, 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to slowly start rolling this up and try and keep it as tight as you possibly can without stretching it, of course, because you don't want any air pockets in the rolls. And then once you get up to the top here, you can just kind of pull this over and sort of pinch it so it stays in place. Just like that. And I'm going to roll this over so that seam is on the bottom. Now we get to cut these, and I'm going to use a piece of thread. Usually they recommend dental floss. The only stuff I have is mint flavored. You don't want that. Just take your thread, slide it underneath halfway, because you want to cut this into 12 equal portions. Cross your threads like that, and just pull through like that, and it is cut. And I'm going to finish getting these cut into 12 equal pieces. Now that I got those cut, I lightly greased a 9x13 pan, and you just want to lay your cinnamon rolls in here, and your end ones, I like to put it towards the center, or the end rolls, the ends of the roll that you cut, I like to put those towards the center. I don't know why, it's just preference. Alright, just like that. Now you have a couple of options. You can cover them and let them rise for another 30 minutes and then bake them, or you can do everything that I've done before this, the day before, and put these into the refrigerator, and then the next morning all you have to do is take them out and put them in the oven. And I guess I should say that there's three things that you can do. You can make them up to this point, and you can freeze them, and then just pull them out when you need them, and just let them defrost in the pan or on the countertop, whatever, and then bake them that way. So you have some options there. I am going to actually cover these and let these rest, basically as a second rise for 30 minutes, and then after 30 minutes I'm going to bake them. These are now done with their second rise, and I've gone ahead and preheated the oven at 375 degrees, and I will cook these for 15 to 18 minutes. While those are in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and get started on my frosting. I have an 8-ounce package of cream cheese here that is softened, and I'm going to add in 1/4 cup of margarine, You can also use butter if that's what you like and prefer. I'm just going to beat this up old school style since my mixer took a crap on me. And I went ahead and added a teaspoon of vanilla to that and mix that in. Now I'm going to add in a total of 2 cups of powdered sugar. I'm going to start with 1 cup and go from there. So I've already got 1 cup in there mixed in. Now I'm going to add in my 2nd cup, and I'm just going to eyeball this about like so and mix this in just like that. And now I'm going to set this off to the side and wait for my cinnamon rolls to get done. Now that they're done, they actually went for 16 minutes. I'm just going to take a partial stick of margarine and I'm going to rub this on top, and that will help to soften the tops of these. And then you want to let these sit for about 5 to 10 minutes or so, just to let them finish cooking off. And then we're going to turn them out and frost them. These have been cooling for about 10 minutes now, and I'm going to take a cookie sheet and I'm going to turn these out onto the cookie sheet, just like that. And then I'm going to take another cookie sheet, put this on top, flip this over. Sorry if I moved you there. Just like that. And now we get to frost them. I'm going to take my cream cheese frosting now, and I'm going to liberally spread it across the top of these wonderful cinnamon rolls that smell so good and I can barely wait to take a bite out of. And this, my friends, is how you make cinnamon rolls from scratch. And I can barely wait to bite into these. So yeah, there you go, homemade cinnamon rolls. Enjoy.